Every invention, every revolution, every transformation in history began with one thing: an idea. Welcome to the Fountain of Ideas podcast. I'm excited to have you tune in. And on this podcast, we are going to explore the power of ideas to change nations and to change lives. I am your host, Anokye Kyeremateng. And by the end of this episode, you will say, I never thought of it like this. Today, we are going to explore the very idea of ideas. What really is an idea? Where does it come from? Is it just a thought, a spark, or something deeper? How can one even get ideas? That is what we are going to be delving into today. This is the Fountain of Ideas podcast, and once again, you are welcome. So I want to start by tracing it all back to where it all started. Tracing the origin of ideas. How did it all come about? The word idea. How did it all come about? And in tracing it back, I'm going to trace the origin from a historical point of view, and I'll add a bit of philosophical origin as well. Now, the word idea traces its origin to the Greek word idea. And then idea simply meant form or pattern. In our modern language, we can say model. And this word idea was linked to the word idein, I-D-E-I-N, which actually means to see. So from its roots, we can say that an idea was something seen by the mind, and a pattern seen, if you like. But beyond that was Plato's philosophy of ideas. And according to Plato, an idea was something he referred to as an archetype of an immaterial pattern or an immaterial pattern. And what that simply means that Plato actually believed that an idea was in its separate realm that one had to go and find to come and then develop a replica of it. And so if a carpenter wants to put together a chair, a physical chair, the carpenter would have to go into the realm to go and then get a copy of the chair and turn it into a physical object. So according to Plato, an idea is in its perfect form in that realm, but a physical object is the imperfect copy. I would want us to also look at it from this angle to say that yes, we have ideas, or we begin to have ideas. Usually the ideas we have are always perfect in our eyes or in our visions or in our minds. And then what we end up building from the very start may not be the same as what we conceived. But that doesn't also mean that it can't become the ideal. That is why when you have an idea and then you develop it into something physical, you begin to work it out day after day, month after month, year after year, and then it becomes the ideal thing that you conceived in your mind. So it's just like Apple. Apple was an idea, but the Apple 20 years ago is not the Apple today. Or the iPhone, which is one of their products 20 years ago, is not the iPhone today. And that is one of the things that we'll be looking at as we go on. But then the word idea found its way in the Latin language, and it was used by Cicero and other Roman thinkers to translate that Greek philosophy. In Latin, it retained the same concept of archetype, but this time round with an addition. And that addition is that it actually saw idea as a sense of a concept in the mind of God. Now, this same word in the late 14th century was adopted by Middle English, and then the English adopted the idea from Latin, and what actually meant an archetype or a concept of a thing in the mind of God. Over time, that meaning broadened to include mental image, and over time again, by the 17th century, an idea came to mean a concept, a thought, a plan, shifting from the purely philosophical archetype idea or meaning. I'm putting idea in there. It should tell you that we are getting somewhere. So that is actually how the word idea has actually transitioned century after century. And currently we use idea in its modern term as it was established in the 17th century. But like I said, I was going to also look at the philosophical bit of it. Other philosophers like Aristotle disagreed with Plato. Aristotle actually believed that ideas were not separate or independent. They were not in any realm. Ideas were actually in the mind. According to Aristotle, ideas existed in the mind. Now, if you look at Augustine, another philosopher, Augustine also believed that idea was also a mental image or a mental picture, whilst Aquinas actually thought of an idea as a blueprint of God, something divine from God. So in all of this, if we are to summarize the word idea, three things stand out. The first is an idea is a form. So we are defining an idea right now. An idea is a form, which means in our modern era, a form can also mean a prototype. It can mean a model. And just as I mentioned earlier, it can also mean a pattern, an appearance. So an idea is a form. Secondly, an idea is a thought. So in this case, an opinion, a concept, a view, an impression. An idea is also a thought. And then the third definition of an idea is that an idea is a mental image. A mental image. So now, if you are having a conversation with somebody and the person says, "Oh, I have an idea," it can mean any of these three things. It can mean that the person has a mental picture of something. As a result of the conversation you are having. It can also mean that the person has an opinion of something. Also, with regard to the conversation you are having. But this also means, very important, that this also means that an idea can actually be good and also can be bad. Now, if an idea can be good and can be bad, it means that out of ideas can determine a good person and a bad person. And in fact, a person can also be poor or rich based on the ideas that the person has. So if we say that if we have established an idea can be a thought or an opinion, somebody's thought of going to rob a particular home, that thought or that idea could define who such a person is. Somebody's thought of not working hard and saving money and always spending money as and when it comes could actually end up describing the kind of person that person is. And so if You want to change, if you have a problem and you want to change your problem, you change them with ideas. Some countries are dealing with all kinds of problems. How do they change them? Ideas. Because people don't just get up to become bad. Problems don't just arise by themselves. In the same vein, ideas don't just arrive from the sky. And that brings me to the next thing that I want to talk about: how ideas are born, or where ideas are born. And I personally think that ideas are born out of three things. The first is beliefs. What you believe in shapes how you see things, shapes how you think about things. What you believe in really shapes how you think about things. So if you believe that something is possible, your mind opens to ideas that make it real. If you believe that you can be president of your country, your mind immediately makes you believe that yes, you can be president of that country. If you believe that your business is going to go global, your mind can actually make that possible for you. And so that is what ideas, or where ideas are born out of: beliefs. The second thing I would want to say is experiences. I believe that ideas are born out of our own experiences. You know, life teaches us a lot of things. Every challenge, every success, every failure plants certain seeds. Out of these seeds come ideas. So if you found yourself in a broken home, where you saw your father occasionally or your mother occasionally, and or maybe either your mother or your father actually gave you an impression of the other parent, especially if it's your father, you may grow up to thinking that, oh, men are like this, men are bad. If it's your mother, you may grow up to thinking that, oh, fear women. So our experiences actually give room or plant certain seeds of ideas in us. So it also influences our way of thinking. So I think that experiences is one of the ways in which ideas are born out of. The third is knowledge. Knowledge actually feeds imagination. So when we go to school and then your teacher tells you that the history of your country is this way, you begin to picture it in a particular way in which you are taught. Same way, somebody somewhere in the same country, the teacher would tell that person the same history, or would teach that person the same history, and the person would think about it in a different way as well. The same crop of people in the country. So knowledge is very, very powerful because it feeds imagination. The more we learn, the more raw material our minds has to form ideas. Education that doesn't just give answers, it gives frameworks that spark new questions, and every question is the beginning of an idea. So it's therefore important that when we are going through problems, whether as individuals, as an organization, as a business, as a country, we must examine the ideas we have based on the above three things: beliefs, experiences, knowledge. So me, for instance, I am not quick to judge people or to give a conclusion on somebody, because if somebody expresses an opinion on something, immediately my mind is wired to think that, okay, this person is expressing this opinion because of the person's beliefs. And as a Christian, for instance, sometimes people express certain opinions. Then I begin to understand that, okay, this person calls him or herself a Christian, but the person has not really been exposed to the knowledge of God, which is the Bible, so much. That is why the person probably has this opinion. Or if I know that the person is an unbeliever, it actually informs the kind of opinion that the person is throwing out there. Okay, so this is what I think, or where I think that ideas are born out of. Now, moving forward, there are a number of myths that we have about ideas. I'll run through some of them. I'll run through a few of them. The first is that ideas just appear out of nowhere. That's a myth. Ideas are actually born from beliefs, experiences, and knowledge, as I've already mentioned. There's also a myth that only special people have great ideas. In fact, that is also another myth, and the fact is that everyone has the capacity for ideas. History shows that ordinary people with ordinary backgrounds birth extraordinary ideas. The Wright brothers, they were ordinary people, ordinary brothers, but they birth an idea that has been transgenerational. The aeroplane. An aeroplane just flew ahead of me right now where I am. So it was just timely that I bring in that example. The third myth is that an idea must be completely original before it can yield results. No. In fact, most world-changing ideas are improvements or combination of existing ideas. So ideas do not have to always be original. The opinion about a topic 30 or 40 or 50 years ago may not be the same opinion that runs through people's mind because the world has changed. And so ideas do not have to be original before it yields results. It's a myth. The fourth thing is that ideas come perfect. So people think that, ideas have to always be perfect. No. Most ideas actually started rough and they evolved through refinement, feedback, and persistence. So your idea doesn't have to be perfect right from the get-go. It doesn't have to be. Some also say that good ideas never face resistance. Who told you that? Every great idea met opposition at first. And resilience is what made it survive and thrive. These are some of the myths that we have about ideas. I'm sure you probably have also heard some things that I would actually encourage that if you have any myth out there about ideas, you can put it in the comment section. Or you can send me a DM and then we can talk about it. But some of these myths are not true. And it's high time that we expose people to the facts about ideas. There are several ideas that have changed the world. And I want to run you through a few of them. Democracy is an idea to give power to the people and to get people from amongst them to govern. Democracy was an idea. Internet, the idea of connecting people across the globe instantly. Internet is an idea that has changed the world. Vaccine is an idea. COVID-19 just passed some years ago, few years ago. And then there was the introduction of vaccines. But the idea of vaccine evolved somewhere in the 1970s. I've already mentioned the aeroplane as an idea. These are some of the ideas that changed the world. I'm sure I'm speaking, you're also thinking of some ideas. There are a whole lot more that we can talk about. The television, the light bulb, so many ideas. Even the idea of human rights, the idea of justice. These are all examples of ideas that have changed our world. I keep getting people asking me, how do I get ideas? I want to start a business. How do I get ideas? I want to grow in my career. What are some of the ideas that I need to be able to grow? Or I want to be a member of parliament, a mayor, a president. What are some of the ideas that I need to be able to govern my country or my people? How do I get these ideas? The first way, which has worked for me several times to get idea, is meditating. This is where you focus your mind to achieve mental clarity, stillness, quietness. So every day I have my quiet time and I meditate. Of course, as a Christian, my quiet time begins with the Word of God. I meditate and I meditate and meditate, and quietly and I begin to get ideas. This podcast came up as a result of meditation. Meditation is very important if you really want to get ideas. Observing, closely monitoring or looking at something, you can get ideas from observing. You go to a place, let's say a wedding, and you look at how the decor has been. You've always had this desire of becoming an event planner. You observe how the decoration are done. Or maybe it's not even about just being an event planner. Maybe, you're also getting ready to get married, or you want your wedding to look in a certain way, and you find yourself at a wedding. You observe how things are done, so that you either meet what you have observed or get ideas to beat what you have observed. Observing is the second way that I want to propose to you in order to be able to get ideas. The third way is reading. Fill your mind with knowledge. Ideas grow from what you consume. When you read, you get ideas. Because if you read a book, for instance, you are reading what somebody thought. You are reading the mind of somebody. And so it is out of reading that you even get ideas to either enhance what you have read, or it probably was knowledge that you were looking for or you needed, and you found it in that book that you read. So ideas also come out of reading. The fourth is listening. In our current dispensation, in our current age, a lot of people do more talking than listening. I always advise my friends and peers and young people to always do more listening than talking, because it is out of listening that you get ideas. The next way to get idea is writing, what people call journaling. You need to have a diary. You need to have a notebook, small, something that you can immediately write. These days in the digital age, we end up taking notes on our phones. That's also good, but I think it's also important that you have a diary, a notebook where you jot or write things down. Because the more you write, the more your thoughts are being clarified, and the more fresh ideas keep coming. So writing. The last way that I want to propose is praying. I have had so many authentic ideas from the place of prayer. So many authentic ideas from the place of prayer. And I think that praying is also one of the most important ways to be able to get ideas. In fact, for me, it's actually the most important. So you meditate, you observe, you read, you listen, you write, and you pray. If you're able to do all of these things, or you're able to use any of these ways, you will get ideas. And you're not just going to get small ideas, but big ideas. Ideas that will transform the world. Ideas that will change people's lives. Ideas that will change your nation. These are the ways in which you get ideas. But what makes a great idea? We say that, there are some ideas that are great. Apple is a great idea. Google is a great idea. ChatGPT, mind-blowing idea. How do we get great ideas? I've already mentioned that. But what actually makes a great idea? The first is relevance. That idea must solve a problem. If you have an idea and it's not solving a problem, you need to examine that idea, because that idea may be a bad idea. Every great idea must solve a problem. Relevance. The second is resonance. It must connect with people's hearts. People must resonate with your idea. You are in a community. You realize that there's always stench because people are just dumping refuse anyhow. And there are other neighbors who are unhappy about it. And you have an idea. It must resonate with the people. It must speak to the people's hearts. In our countries, we have leaders coming to rule us. They come with so many ideas. But the big question is, do those ideas resonate with the people's hearts? Do they connect with the people? Every great idea must connect with people's hearts. The third characteristic of a great idea is resilience. A great idea always withstands criticism and opposition. You said you prayed to God for ideas and you got an idea, an authentic one. But you begin to implement and then there are naysayers. This one day is not going to work. This one day, people have done it and they couldn't even succeed. Only you think you are the one who can be able to succeed with this idea. But you push through. A great idea is one of resilience. A great idea is also one with a wider reach. Reach is a fourth characteristic of a great idea, because it must have the potential to spread and scale. If it doesn't have the potential to scale, it is not a great idea. It's not a great idea. Facebook started from where? College. But Facebook is a great idea right now, used by millions and millions of people all over the world. Something that started in a country, in a college, in a house or hall is now in countries. Every great idea must have the potential to reach people, potential to spread and potential to scale. Rootedness. It must be anchored in truth and not just hope. You know, when people come up with ideas, especially entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, they always feel attacked when somebody is trying to question and to verify this idea. If an idea is a great one, it will stand the test of time. If an idea is a great one, it's going to be anchored in truth, not in lies. Rootedness. Relevance, resonance, resilience, reach, and rootedness make up a great idea. So today we've seen that ideas are not just random thoughts. They are also prototypes or patterns or forms, and they are also mental images. As we leave this episode, I want you to ask yourself, what idea is waiting inside me? Because the world doesn't just need more people, it needs more ideas. It needs more ideas that would solve problems, more ideas that will connect with people's hearts. We need more ideas to fix our problems as a country, in our lives. We need more ideas. In our world, we need more ideas. This is the Fountain of Ideas podcast, and I'm so glad that you were able to join me on this first episode. I can't wait to have you join me on the next episode. And then I'm hoping that this episode brought something to you, something meaningful, something impactful, something that you have learned and you can share with others. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share with others as well, so that they can also benefit from this message that has come to them. The idea of ideas. Thank you very much for joining. And I want to believe that you are going to join me for the next episode. Until then, keep drawing from the fountain, because nations are transformed by ideas.